Welcome back to Let's Clone. My name would still be Stephen French, and I've been mucking around with a little bit more Survivor IO clone-ish type of stuff. Kind of went further on my own project than I thought, so I'm gonna roll back and catch this up. I'm just trying to do things right, I suppose. So in this, I want to make an infinitely scrollable world, and yeah, that's about it. But some things that gotta be done. I want to change the size of my screen. I think I'm on a Google Pixel 6, so we've got like a 1280 by a 2400. 1080. It's 1080 because it's a 540 on the half. So that's the size that I want it to be, but there was a test width was like 70 by 600, so it was actually pretty close to where we were at before. And this just lets me kind of press play and still see it on the screen, and yeah. And then if my phone is connected, I can just on my own click that real quick just to make sure that everything's looking all right. Everything's offset and gross. Ignore that. We'll solve it. We'll solve it, I think. Yeah. So project settings. Another thing I needed to do is there is somewhere in here. Yeah, I want it to be portrait. That's what I want. And then I want to expand. I think that was fine. No. Well, yeah, expand the viewport. I think that's what we want. Nope, that's not what we want. Huh. Oh, yeah, I'm just a dummy. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna expand the viewport in portrait mode. Things now this really shouldn't be done the way that I'm gonna do it, but we're gonna change it later, so we're gonna do it wrong now. Apparently, you should not be expanding or scaling your stuff, but we're gonna. But only for the time being. And then if I go into my joystick, I guess this is all script. So yeah, here. So I was centering it, but now we've got, what's that? 540 is half of it, and then we're at what, 24 inches to 12 on it. This will just put the joystick in the bottom. Actually, we're gonna add, I don't know, fucking 1600. We'll see where it is. Okay, yeah. So he's here. We'll go to 1800. I'm gonna change. I've got my radians down here, but I don't want that there. I want to be able to use it in other places. So we're gonna change that to 200, and then here we can share that value. And this should get us back to where we were. Things looking decent. Neat. Our player back in the game world, we just had him dragged over, so we're just gonna put him somewhere a little better. Ooh yeah, okay, we're good. We're doing something. So I need myself a background. So I like using Photo P because it's just pretty gosh darn great. If I do say so myself. Make a new project. We're gonna 1080 by a 2400. Creating. I'm just gonna make it green, and then can I untick this? Can I open this up? Can I make an inside stroke? Does that? Yeah, that does something. And then we'll change this color to just a lighter green. I just want to be able to see what's going on, just so we know that when we're looping through our background, that it actually loops through our background. I don't care about making it special by any means. I'm going to export this as a PNG. We're going to say infinite background. Why not? I'm going to save it. We're going to show in folder, get rid of this guy. And let's see, we got like an assets folder here. Wait. My guy. Oh, I already have it from before. So yeah, you just drag that guy on into here. Turns out I did it and didn't delete it. Who cares? Now what I need in my game, we're going to have a parallaxing background. That parallaxing background is going to have a parallax layer. And that parallax layer is going to have a sprite. We can drag that up to this as a texture, and look at that. Look at that. Just look at it. Now one thing that I kept screwing up before, why can't I, this one? No, this one? Yeah, this one. There we go. I actually want this object. We're going to slap it up here. And I am going to offset this part, the parallax background. We're going to offset that by 540. You'll slap her in place. We're going to offset that by 1200. We'll slap it in place. And look at that. Look how great that is. It's already done. Now this is going to be, I guess, part of what we use to duplicate the background. So as we move, we get that infinite scroll. Why did you do that? And maybe I actually don't need that because I have the offset and I have that. Well, if it doesn't work, we'll come back to it and we'll figure out why it doesn't work. My parallaxing layer. This is the one I was thinking about. So for parallax layer motion here, this helps us with the scrolling. If we copy that width over, see it's there. It'll be over here too. I don't really understand Godot that well yet. And then 2400. Look at that. Look at that. It's nice and big. It doesn't actually do anything for us. Like we're here and we're just moving around, having a good time. We're having a good time. We do need in our game a camera. So a big old camera 2D. And this camera. Now I thought this was kind of interesting. I thought that we would attach the camera to the thing, but like we don't. I want it to be current. I believe that just sets this to be the current camera. But we actually want our player to have what we call a remote transform. And this here remote transform we can assign to the camera. So what that should do, although I don't think it will, yeah, that ties this guy in. But like you notice how like that joystick is just doing the wrong things? Yeah, we gotta account for that. We gotta account for that. One of the things I learned is we can slap it into our camera, and that helps us something. Now maybe I done did something and goofed, but if I look back on what I had wrote before in the transform, that's a strange number. We're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna do 540, and then we're gonna transform to 100. Let's see if that does the thing that I want. That's almost a little bit better. It ain't, but it's almost a little better. My young joystick. This could be. Why is it giving me these? Like those are not very helpful values. But we'll do a negative 540 if everything's getting shifted. Then we gotta like shift it back. I don't know. I'm learning, boys. There we go. Look at that. That's nice and centered. Okay, now why? Why, oh why, am I not starting out in the right spot? Does it have to do, whoa, don't do that. Does it have to do with this guy being there? I don't think so, because in my game, no. So it just puts him in the center. Maybe that's what I was doing to get around it. Maybe I was just like centering this moth. Because like, I don't know, we can? And yeah, so it's centering the camera around this guy, and I didn't have him in the center. So that's what was going on there. So our player, we're going to move him over halfway, move him over halfway. We're going to press play halfway, and look at that. We've got a joystick. We can click it. It stays where we clicked it, and we can walk around, and we can walk just about as far as we need. Now, there's something really neat about this, but really annoying about this, is if we come down to our camera, and we look at our limits. This is what we would use to clamp shit down. Like if we wanted to only be vertical, then we want our left to be at 0, our right to be at 1080. We play that, and then you cannot go left or right. That does create this little wiggle in our joystick, and I absolutely hate it because it's like, say I'm clicking in the middle. That's still my origin point. Go right of middle, I go right. Go left of middle, I go left. So it's wrong. Where it's putting the joystick is wrong. And I haven't found the best solution for that yet, but I got one. And I'm going to refer heavily back and forth to, actually not even this project, a different project, because I don't know. I gotta do this the way that I don't like. That's that shit I don't like. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We got this guy up. No, we got this guy up. No, what the? Why aren't you doing? I clicked you, so you stay. So my solution to this is the camera knows its position relative to the screen, and it knows that if we've gone like too far left or too far right. So we're going to utilize that information. We'll make a little script, which I learned something. We can do empty or no comments, and that actually just, I don't have to have all that annoying shit every time. But we need to emit a signal from this camera to let the joystick know what's got to happen. So we're going to create a signal. I called it my offset. This kid can't type. Joystick. Because, you know, that's what we're doing. So that's what we're going to do. And in our process function with a delta that we don't need to use, we can emit said signal. Usually, oh, see, still learning. We can emit said signal, and again, call it the offset joystick. And we are emitting our position dot x, because that's the only one I'm worried about right now, minus 540. This will only be for the vertical clamp. We'd have to make a separate signal, or I can just find something more clever to do later on. But we have that. We're saving it. We're going to click on our camera. We've got that offset joystick. Let's connect that to our joystick. And I'm just going to call it the same thing. Why not? Offset joystick. I don't think that's an issue. We come down into our joystick. And if I click on my joystick, where are you? If I click on that, there it is. And I called it offset joystick there. So all we have is we have an offset, which is the camera's position on the x-axis minus half of the screen. And if here we set our self.position.x equals negative 540 minus the offset. We press play. We've got that same condition where now we can scroll, we can go up and we can go down, we're fine, but we can go left and right as well. And the character moves, but the joystick stays still. What I don't like is that little jiggle. You see that jiggle? You see that? The joystick's jiggling? I don't like that it's jiggling. I want, like, up and down doesn't jiggle. It stays right where it needs to be, but left and right, it's got that slight little jiggle. And maybe I can fix that with using the delta. That's actually quite possibly an idea. There's probably just a better way to do it, and I don't know how, because I don't know, I'm learning. But yeah, so we've got an infinitely scrollable realm. There's got to be something I can do to make a conditional for if we have it clamped from left to right or up to down, so I don't have to go and like ignore this signal and go and change the limits every time. I guess in the game it doesn't change during the game, so we can just have a scene that's clamped and it knows about it, and a scene that's not clamped and a scene that's clamped the other way and it knows about it. But for the time being, we got a thing. That's all we got. I'm actually curious what happens if I take my camera limit and I blap that down. Well, we can just undo and undo. This won't replicate my screen. Oh, it does. Okay. Yeah, so now since we're subtracting the X and Y from it, it's just not doing what we want. This is what I'm talking about. I'd have to come into this joystick here and I would have to just ignore that. So we're passing information in, but we're just not doing anything with it. And now the joystick stays. So that's a little bit more annoying than I want it to be. But we've got a guy, he's moving around. My sprite is doubled and his collision box is doubled, and that's a no-go. So eventually, when I get around to having an asset for him, I'll just make it the size that I want it to be, and then we can go. I said, don't do that, apparently. I don't know. I really don't understand why, but everything I read said, hey, never scale up your collision box size or your collision shape. So, yeah, don't do it, kids. Don't do it. But yeah, quick little piece. What do we got here? What's this talking about? Unused argument. Oh, that's probably just my offset. Yeah, because I commented it out. So that's worth ignoring. So this is a start. I've gotten a lot of other stuff working. I've got the projectiles. I've got the enemies spawning and killing them. I'm gonna probably work on that next. But we've got infinite scrollability in all the axes that we need. Let's clone. Let's make some little Survivor games. I'm back from a quick wedding over the weekend. My girlfriend had PTO for all last week, so I spent a lot of time with her. And now I'm home on a regular schedule, still unemployed, so I got plenty of time to play. This should be fun.